The Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. As usual, let us start with the snippets. The very first one, what is the first one here? Launch in Bihar polls, EVMs to have color photos of candidates. It's about Bihar elections. At the time of the elections, EVM machines, electronic voting machines, to have color photos of candidates. And as usual, it goes with elections. You have to recollect all the related words. But based on photos, I would like to give a new word. Usually, what happens when someone says, "Or I would like to take your pic," we try to pose. But if you don't want to pose, you want to be shot as you are. That is known as candid photography. Have you heard of this any time? Candid, candid photography. What is the meaning of candid photography? Natural photography. And the word candid means a frank. Usually, British English, they say to be frank. We also say the same thing. But Americans say to be candid. To be candid, to be frank, both mean the same. Otherwise, you know all the words that go with elections. And here you see conservation effort. You can see the tiger. Supreme Court seeks CBI probe into tiger poaching ring. As I always tell students, casual learning, you look at the word, you look for the meaning. But smart learning, you look at the word, you recollect the related words, you think of the word forms, word maps. Here it goes with wildlife. Then you have to recollect words like loss of habitat, deforestation, extinction, endangered species, extinction, flora, fauna, poaching. What is the meaning of poaching? To kill animals illegally. That is one meaning. But if you take poaching, imagine there's one good institute and another institute, the rival institute, tries to take the faculty members of this institute by offering more. That is also known as poaching. It goes with faculty members also. Poaching, you have to recollect words like contraband, confiscate, all these words you have to. Vulnerable, susceptible, prone to, all the words you have to recollect. Deals with EAEU. First round of FTA talks likely in November. Likely to happen, unlikely to happen. When you see the words like, unlike, you have to recollect one important rule that goes with conjunctions. When we combine two subjects using expressions like with, together with, along with, as well as, like, unlike, so many are there, the verb agrees with the first subject. That rule is an important rule you have to recollect. Coming to the next one, face recognition system. Welfare at the mercy of the machine. In a sarcastic way, imagine they're going to introduce technology, and based on the technology identifies a person's face. Based on that, the rations are given. Then they're at the mercy of the machine in a sarcastic way. Welfare at the mercy of the machine. Rations, rations, provisions, groceries, all these words you have to recollect. Who is a person? What is the name for the person who sells provisions or groceries? Grocer. And who is a greengrocer? Greengrocer is a person who sells vegetables. That also you have to recollect. A ration should not depend on software. They should not depend on software to distribute. You all know, I'm sure, PDS, public distribution system, should not depend on technology. Coming to the next one goes with cricket, but not men's, women. Fighting back. Smriti sizzles as India level series in style. There's one word, sizzle. Sizzling hot. Usually it goes with cooking and dishes, but here sizzles means to perform well. That's what it means. Coming to the main headline from the front page of today's Hindu paper, what does it say? So much is there to learn. Amid, important word. You have to recollect two words, amid, amidst, Both mean the same. What is the meaning? In the middle of. Amid tariffs, row has three different meanings. Here, row means a dispute. Second meaning of row, front row, back row. Third meaning, row, to move a boat, you have to use the oars and you row the boat. Three different meanings, but here it means dispute. PM pushes local production. You all know Trump has imposed or levied taxes, tariffs, and based on that, the Prime Minister is campaigning, pitching. We should depend on local companies, local products. What is the word for local? Indigenous. Indigenous companies, multinational companies. Today, if you take Coke and Pepsi, they are not our companies. They are American companies, multinational companies. But in the past, we had a few brands, local brands, indigenous companies. All of those indigenous companies have got wiped out. Now, time has come. We should depend on local products. Then we can avoid this headache or problem of tariffs being imposed by some other country. Indians must embrace Swadeshi. Embrace means accept, adopt, implement. It will help in development of country, says Modi. PM says he will request state governments to put up signs in every shop detailing Indian products. Put up signs, display clearly. You have to recollect the word aboriginals also. He also hails. Hail has two or three meanings. One meaning in this context, praise someone. And hail also means I hail from Vishakhapatnam. I am from Vishakhapatnam. And whenever there is a hailstorm, you see the small ice balls, hailstorm. Three different meanings. And he also hails the armed forces which brought Pakistan to its knees. Bring someone or something to something or some people to their knees means what? To make them, to defeat them, to make them a cripple. An important word, idiom. Bring someone to knees. Important idiom. Coming to the next snippet, strategic alliance with the EU is set for an upgrade. Here we have the word strategic alliance upgrade. When someone says, I'm preparing for competitive exams, we say, are you preparing seriously? What is your strategy? Their strategy means a plan. But here, strategic means related to defense. Strategic studies related to defense. Here, strategic alliance. Alliance means joining hands together. Ally. Ally goes with two contexts. One, it goes with war. Another, it goes with elections. And another one, upgradation of the systems. To meet one's Waterloo, very good, Naidu. That's also an important idiom. Upgradation of the systems. Coming to the next one, here we have another snippet. RTI uh, queries may cross 1 million despite red tape. Here we have an important idiom. Queries, questions, and despite it expresses a contrast. You have to recollect two words: despite, in spite of. Despite of is a common error. Despite does not take the preposition of, and in spite of should be written as three separate words. And one important idiom here: red tape. We can also say, yes, aspirant and Naidu. Red tapeism. What does it mean? Bureaucratic hurdles. When you want to start an industry, you have to go to many government departments, you have to submit a lot of files, or so much has to be done. Then it gets delayed. That is known as the officials, administrators, they create hurdles, bottlenecks, impediments, hindrances. That is known as red tapeism or red tape. This has been given many a time. Coming to the next snippet, Ladakh activist protest enters its seventh day. Someone is protesting, then you have to recollect words like protest, procession, march, and also slogans, placards. All these words you have to recollect. Coming to a disturbing pic, you can see a vehicle got turned on its side, but something turns upside down. What are the words you have to think of? One important idiom, turn turtle. Another word you have to recollect, capsize. Turn turtle, capsize, I go with ships, but sometimes turn turtle we use with buses also. But this one turned on its side. What does it say? Way of the water. Flood havoc. We have been getting news related to floods, flash floods, wreak havoc, cause damage on a large scale. And a flood affected area in Dharampur, Himachal Pradesh on Wednesday. BJP MP Anurag Thakur was among those who visited the area. Now you guys know all the words we have got so many times: wreak havoc, floods, flash floods, inundation, deluge, and submerge, immerse. So many words you have at your fingertips. That is advantage. Supreme Court calls for jailing of stubble burners. Not feasible, says Centre. Those who read the newspaper, those who follow current affairs, those who keep themselves abreast of the latest developments, they know during winter, the national capital region, Delhi, in and around Delhi, Delhi experiences a problem. And here you have to recollect words like smoke, fog, a combination of smoke and fog known as smog. Why does it happen in Delhi? Because in and around Delhi, so many states they burn stubble. The farmers burn stubble. Stubble means after the harvest, you see parts of the plant, the stem of the plant in the field. And also, after using whatever is required, remaining the waste of the harvest, they burn. And this burn, when they burn, it generates a lot of smoke, and that smoke enters capital city and it mixes with fog, and the result is smog. Every year, it's a recurring problem for Delhiites. And Delhi has a dubious distinction of being the most polluted city in the world. Have you heard of that? What is the meaning of dubious distinction? Doubtful distinction. And Supreme Court says they should be jailed. But is it practical? And who is doing that? Farmers. And someone burns a stubble, you put him behind bars. I don't think that is practical. Based on that, obviously, Center says it is not feasible. What is the meaning of the word feasible? Possible. And not practical. Practical, you have to recollect the word pragmatic. That is not a pragmatic thing, not going to happen. On paper, it seems good, but not in reality. And here we have the weight reduction in gold covering on idol. We have got this word many a time in the recent past. Idol, idol of Lord Vignesh, idol of Swami Ayappa. It seems the weight has gone down, gold weight, and they want some probe, investigate what exactly the reason behind that. And when you see the word idol, you have to recollect he is my idol, he is my role model, and also iconic figure. And we try to always behave like our role models. But if the role model is a good person, a person with a very good reputation, a celebrity, he has made his mark in a particular field, you try to imitate that person, nothing wrong in that. We use the word emulate. What is the positive word here? Emulate. Emulate means copy, positive. But blindly you try to imitate some actor or someone, then we say copycat. Copycat is a negative expression. Emulation, very good. Emulation is a positive one. Emulate, copycat. And a blind imitation of someone or something, we use aping. Ape. Ape can be a noun, can be a verb. As a noun, we have descended from anthropoid apes. They are four in number: gibbon, orangutan, chimpanzee, gorilla, our closest cousins, unfortunately or fortunately. And aping as a verb means blind imitation. Aping Western abuse means blindly imitating Western abuse. What is this about? With the roads washed away, hundreds of tourists are struggling to leave Mussoorie. This is again a regular phenomenon, has been a recurring phenomenon in the north this year. Floods created havoc, wreaked havoc, and based on that, villages got washed away, roads got washed away, and those who went to those places, they got stranded. There's one important word you have to know. Imagine you visit a place and you want to leave that place, you visit as a tourist. After 1 or 2 days, you want to go back. but you get stuck, you get stuck over there. When you get stuck, what is the word you have to use? Then you say, I got stranded. Have you heard of this word anytime? Got stranded means got stuck in a particular region. That's all, I suppose. But here we have the last snippet. Britain pulls out all the stops. An important one. Pull out all the stops means do everything possible to impress someone. Marooned, very good. Who is that? Sangeeta. That is also an important word you have to. Erosion, wipe out. Yes, that's true. Pull out all the stops means what? You try to do everything possible to impress someone. To impress Donald Trump, the British government has pulled out all the stops. And while preparing for competitive exams, I tell students, you should not leave any stone unturned. What does it mean? You should not leave any stone unturned while preparing for competitive exams. That means you have to touch whatever is important. You have to take a holistic, comprehensive, exhaustive approach. I usually tell students this goes more with those who are preparing for civil services. Civil services, you have to know something about everything and everything about something. Something about everything, general awareness, and everything about something, optional. Know something about everything, know everything about something. That is your optional. That is the appropriate approach. That's all about enrichment from today's front page of the Hindu paper. Let us go to today's editorial and see what is there to learn. I have been a little late today, and because of that, I may try to do it fast. An important editorial you may get in the exam because it's all about genocide committed by Israel. They may not give directly about genocide committed by Israel. They may take a historical perspective. If you look at the history of the mankind, winners never quit, quitters never win. Kranti Kumar, very good. If you, they may take historical perspective. At one point, Jews, Israel is a nation of Jews, Jewish state. They were Hitler tried to resorted to genocide. He tried to kill the Jews. And in the US, we have anti Semitic. Some people, they don't like Jews. That is known as anti Semitic movement. Once there was a movement also. It's all about Israel committing genocide against Palestinians. Some important words are there. Let us see what the first one is. Genocide. I know all of you know the meaning of the word genocide, and side means to kill. Genocide. Usually, I tell students killing people of a particular community or race. Here, expansion of that. Genocide, part of speech noun, that deliberate, open, deliberate and intentionally. Imagine someone kills another person deliberately, intentionally, with a proper plan, without any emotions. What is the idiom we use? We say cold blooded murder. Have you heard of that? Cold blooded murder. Genocide, the deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation, ethnic group, or religion, or race, or community. The UN condemned the genocide carried out against the minority community. Carry out, there's one important phrasal verb, means execute. He carried out the orders of the boss, means he executed the orders of the boss. Word forms genocidal, genocidally. Generally, we don't use adverbial form. Genocidal is okay. Word combinations commit genocide, prevent genocide, charges of genocide. We also use the, the preposition against, genocide against a particular group of people. Synonyms: mass killing, massacre. Two important words: extermination, annihilation. These two have been given many a time. And what is the meaning of massacre? Massacre means a kill large number of people brutally, cruelly, in a barbaric manner, uncivilized manner. We use the word massacre, an important word. Antonyms: peace, coexistence, protection, preservation. Simple words. Coming to the next one, atrocity. Generally, we use it in the plural form. Ah, yes, that's right. We use it in the plural form. Atrocities against someone. Part of speech noun, extremely cruel and violent act. The soldiers were accused of committing atrocities against civilians. They are also known as war crimes. Word forms atrocity singular, atrocious adjective, important word form, atrociously adverbial form. Wicked also you can say, yes, pravalika. Coming to word combinations, war atrocities, commit atrocities. Synonyms, barbarity. Barbaric means uncivilized, savage, animal like, cruel, savagery, brutality. Antonyms, kindness, compassion, one and the same. Compassion goes with formal English, kindness goes with informal English. Humanity, benevolence, an important word. Usually I tell students, benevolent dictator. What is the meaning of benevolent dictator? Dictators are usually bad, but benevolent dictator, a dictator with a good intention, then we say benevolent dictator. An important combination, though rare to find. Usually dictators are bad. And what are the other words you have to recollect? Dictator, autocrat, despot, tyrant, all these words you have to. Echelons, I think you can also pronounce it as echelons, but echelons, an important word, part of speech noun, meaning a level or rank in an organization, profession, or society. If you take hierarchy, top to bottom, those at the top, we use this word. Look at the example. He quickly rose to the upper echelons of the corporate world. Perhaps he joined as a trainee or as a manager, but he could go to the level of becoming the vice president or the MD of a company. Then we use this. Word combinations, upper echelons, top echelons, military echelons, synonyms, rank, grade, position, hierarchy. Stratum, an important word. Stratum, singular, strata, plural. What does it mean? Layer. Top people are known as top brass. Very good, Naidu. Top brass of a company. Top brass of a company means top people, top management of a company. Coming to, you can also think of the word rung. We have got this for the first time, smithereens. Have you heard of this? Usually, doyen has a different connotation. Usually, words like this one, a word like this one, you may get in SSC. Banks also possibility is there. Usually, we know, many of you know the word fragment. What is the meaning of fragment? A small part. But another word we have got, smithereens, meaning small broken pieces or fragments. The bomb blasted the car into smithereens. It takes two or into. No major derivations, fixed plural form. Word combinations, blow to smithereens, smash to smithereens, break into smithereens. Synonyms, fragments, debris. Generally, when you read the newspaper, you come across the word splinters. Whenever there's a bomb blast, small pieces get scattered in all the directions. Then we use the word splinters, sharp pointed things, and shredding. I'm sure many of you know fringes means more like borders, fringes. And paper shredding, you all know that, cut into small pieces, shreds. Antonyms, whole, entirety, intactness, unity. That's all about editorial vocabulary. And this is a familiar one. I have done a few articles, have done a few editorials based on atrocities being committed by Israel and acts of Israel. A lot of people died. 65,000 Palestinians have been killed so far, ever since Israel started attacking that region, Gaza Strip. What is the reason for that? On October 7th, I think, 2023, Hamas attacked Israel and captured some Israelis. They have been taken as hostages. That is, spinster has a different meaning. Who is this? Happy, yeah, good. I appreciate that. Genocide in Gaza on Israel and UN Commission of Inquiry finding. The moment you see the word commission, you have to think of collective nouns: committee, commission, jury, staff, team, group, family. And the two rules, what are the two rules? Collective nouns usually take a singular verb, a singular pronoun. If, if the sentence denotes division, the same collective noun takes a plural verb, a plural pronoun. Inquiry. I usually tell students, yes, that's right, October 7, 2023. That's what I said. When it comes to inquire, inquire. Inquire is British, inquire is American at one level. But when you use the word inquiry, it means something like investigation, probing. India should speak up. Speak up means what? Say something boldly, confidently against Israel's atrocities. All these days, India has been a silent observer. It has not condemned acts of Israel. Based on that, editorial takes a stand and says India has to speak up, India has to condemn regarding what? Israel's atrocities. Exactly. The UN Commission of Inquiry, after a multi year investigation, not 1 year, multi year. When you see the prefix multi, some people are highly talented. They can sing, they can dance, they can do so many things. What do we say? Multifaceted personality. Multifaceted personality. And some companies, usually one company, one product, but some companies manufacture different products that belong to different spheres or realms. Then we say multifaceted company. That also you have to know. Multi year investigation has concluded, present perfect active voice, that Israeli authorities have committed genocide in Gaza. Have committed, again, present perfect, versatile also you can. Who is this? Nishkala. Very good. Versatile actor. Committed genocide in Gaza. The finding is hardly surprising. You have to recollect the word hard. Hard can be an adjective, can be an adverb. It's a hard nut, adjective. He works hard, adverb, adverb of manner. Hardly is only an adverb, but it has a negative connotation. When we say he hardly works, what does it mean? He doesn't work at all. Hardly surprising means not at all surprising. The finding is hardly surprising as the world's leading rights organizations, including two Israeli groups, that is a bit surprising. Israeli groups also say Israel has committed genocide. And genocide scholars, when you see the word scholar, research scholar, a different meaning, but he is a scholar, man of letters, man with immense knowledge, profound knowledge. We use words like scholar, walking encyclopedia, highbrow, polymath, genius, intellectual, all the words you have to recollect. Had already accused Israel of committing what is one of the gravest crimes. Grave, graveyard, it has a different connotation. You have to recollect words like, please excuse me. You have to recollect words like graveyard, cemetery, burial ground. But here, grave means serious crimes. What is the meaning? Serious. Dire consequences, we say, pravalika, good. Grave, grim. Grim also you can use. But generally, grim means something like sad. Why do you look grim? Means what? Why do you look sad? In international law, yet contrasting word, the finding would lend weight, an important expression. Give weight, give credentials to something. Lend weight to such reports and resonate. Resonate means what? Echo or something like it is heard many a time, not one time. Resonate before the International Court of Justice, which is hearing genocide charges against Israel. I did this, I think last year there was one editorial. Someone filed a case against Israel, against Benjamin Netanyahu. Based on that, International Court of Justice, it has ordered arrest, it has issued arrest warrant against Benjamin Netanyahu, International Court of Justice. But to what extent they do it, that's a different question. And the International Criminal Court, which has issued an arrest warrant for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The UN Commission found reasonable grounds to conclude that four of the five genocidal acts, this is something new information. What is considered based on what we can say a particular country, a particular group has committed genocide? It seems there are five factors, and Israel has committed four of the five. What is the fifth one? I myself don't know, but four listed out here. Four of the five genocidal acts Israel has committed. First one, killing members of a community, in this context, Palestinians. Second one, serious bodily and mental what? Harm. Second one. Third one, actions aimed at destroying the group. Fourth one, preventing births. Five, these are the four. Israel has committed four out of five. Have been carried out. Carry out means to execute, to implement. Since the war began following Hamas's October 7, 2023 attack. Ever since that attack, Israel has been bombarding that region, and the net result 65,000 Palestinians have been killed till date. Israel, which denies the allegations. Obviously, why will Israel accept the allegations? Deny means to say no. Allegations, accusations, allegations. Say someone has done something wrong without evidence, but here there is evidence of genocide and war crimes, has killed at least 65,000. That's a huge number. Palestinians in Gaza in 23 months, many of them, unfortunately, many of them women and children. The responsibility for these atrocity crimes lies with Israeli authorities at the highest echelons, means the top brass, top people, who have orchestrated. You all know the common word orchestra goes with music. A group of people on stage, they sing songs, film songs, and we call orchestra. But orchestrated means designed. Excuse me. Orchestrated a genocidal campaign with the specific intent to destroy the Palestinian group in Gaza, says panel's leader Navi Pillay, who is the leader of this commission, looks like an Indian, Navi Pillay. What does the second part say? It is tragically ironic. What is the meaning of ironic? Ironic means paradoxical. Both positive and negative dimensions exist at the same time. It is tragically ironic that Israel, a nation built by the survivors of the Shoah, is committing genocide against Palestinians. They were subjected to genocide at one stage. Out of that, the nation has come into existence, Israel. Unfortunately, paradoxically, same people are committing genocide. That is not acceptable. On the day the UN Commission released its report, Israel launched yet another ground offensive in the famine-stricken Gaza city. Usually, when someone points out, we should stop. But in this context, the more Israel is being pointed out, the more it is going in for attacks. The day the report was released, they went in for another attack. Yet another ground offensive in the famine-stricken. Famine means what? Scarcity of food. Israel's responses to reports of war crimes and mass killings have invariably been further escalations. How did Israel respond? Whenever someone pointed out, they are trying to attack more. In a way, they are trying to escalate, killing and displacing even more Palestinians. The war, prolonged by Mr. Netanyahu for his political survival, has left a stain, black mark, on Israel's national compass and deepened its global isolation. Now, many countries are trying to isolate Israel. To substantiate this statement, The writer gives us more information. In the weeks ahead, France and the UK and several other countries are expected to recognize Palestinian sovereignty. Sovereign means politically independent, not controlled by anyone. While the European Commission has proposed to suspend trade concessions with Israel and sanction extremist ministers, all these are reactions, European Union. Yet, Israel shielded by the US, shielded means covered, protected by the US, shows little concern, no concern, no concern whatsoever. The Trump administration is unlikely to turn up the heat, means put more pressure. Unlikely to turn up the heat. It may not put pressure on Israel, on its closest ally. Ally means one country supporting another country. We use the word ally. But Europe should start treating Israel as what it has become, a rogue state. Have you heard of this any time? Rogue. A rogue, he is a rogue. Usually it goes with an individual. He is a rogue means a very bad person. No principles, no morals, a scoundrel. A country behaves like that. We say a rogue state. Here, state means nation state. A rogue state with genocidal intent and actions. Now, coming to India's stand, at the fag end of the editorial reiterates the main idea. India once a champion of Palestinian cause. There was a leader, Yasser Arafat. He championed the Palestinian cause and India respected him. They were good ties. India openly supported the cause of Palestinians. Not now. Once a champion of the Palestinian cause has so far refrained from directly criticizing the Jewish nation. What is a Jewish nation? Israel. It is not criticizing. India has not criticized deliberately or openly. Based on that, but it should realize that an uncontrollable expansionist Israel blowing international law to smithereens is not in India's national or regional interest. It means that what Israel is doing is not good for India. National interest, regional interest, not good for India. Based on that, New Delhi should speak up, should advise or suggestion, speak up, say openly, boldly, against the genocide and use its leverage. Leverage here means influence. Leverage has two meanings. One meaning to use something to the maximum advantage. Here it means influence. India should use its leverage to help bring the war to an end. It ends on the same main idea being reiterated. Try to answer the questions today. Today the questions are easy, I suppose. You should be able to get all the 5 correct based on reading comprehension skill. What was the key conclusion of the UN Commission of Inquiry's multi-year investigation? Hamas did not commit genocide. Israel committed 4 out of 5 genocidal acts in Gaza since the war began. What is the answer? B is the answer. Yes. Kavya, first one to get. She got it right. Which irony does the editorial highlight regarding Israel's actions? Paradoxical thing has been highlighted. What is that? Israel is defending itself as a victim of genocide. Israel, founded by Holocaust survivors, is accused of committing genocide. It has experienced, it was subjected to genocide. Now it is committing the same crime against Palestinians. B is the answer. According to the editorial, what has been Israel's response to accusations of war crimes? Obviously, Israel will try to do what? Deny. Diplomatic negotiations, reduction in military. The more they're trying to point out, the more Israel is trying to attack. Based on that, further escalations leading to more killings and displacements. So what is the answer here? Anil Kumar, yes, C. What global shifts are mentioned as possible consequences of Israel's actions? Here, global shifts, especially European countries, suspension of US aid, recognition of Palestinian sovereignty by European countries. France and the UK, they're going to recognize sooner or later the sovereignty of Palestinians. B is the answer. Good. What is the next one? Why does the editorial argue that India should speak up against Israel? Speak up, condemn, say something boldly against Israel. Why should India do that? Keeping what interests in mind? India seeks to join? No. India wants to counter? No. An unchecked expansionist Israel undermines, weakens India's regional and national interests, clearly mentioned in the editorial. Let us go to today the questions, the mini mocks. I have brought 7 questions, very challenging. Try to get all the 7 correct. Identify the part with an error. Try to read. If one student answers, I'll give the answer. At least one student has to respond. No one has responded. You got to read meticulously. I see Anil Kumar, first one to respond, says B. B is not correct. One more student. Let someone else respond. How come only one student? We have an error in the 4th part. Here, which amended the 1995 Waqf Act. There, nothing wrong. Regulating is not the correct word form. Amended to do something, to regulate. So, what is the correct expression here? Amended to regulate something. Regulating is not the right word form. We have to say to regulate. Amended to regulate. Amended to achieve something. Yes. Not easy under pressure. Perhaps this is an easy one. Identify the grammatically incorrect part. Autonomy claims cannot be a facade. Facade actually literal meaning the front part of a building. It also means something like a shield, cover, facade. You got to be careful with pronunciation. For misuse of community resources by its own leaders, nor can any group of people lay claim over public resources in the name of faith. There is an error in the 4th part. What is it? Here we have a helping verb can. Can any group of people, put in brackets a phrase, can, you cannot use after any helping verb. If you have to use a verb, that should be in bare infinitive. It should be in what? Bare infinitive. Based on that, you cannot say lays. No one can lay hands on something. No one can lay the claim. Lay is a right word form, not lays. We have 2 questions based on fillers. The court's judgment has temporarily the conflict, but deeper issues of autonomy versus state regulation remain unresolved. Understand the context. Context talks about bringing down. There's a clue for you. Conflict, reduce, bring down. Then what are the words you can think of? Multi-years you cannot say. If there's an end to that word, that's a different thing. Here you cannot consider a word like be, aggravated, intensified. Incite means provoke. Between weakened and diffused, whenever you think of tensions, conflict, we use the word diffuse. We don't use the word weakened. Answer is not D. Diffused conflict. What is the answer? The court's judgment has temporarily diffused the conflict, has temporarily diffused the tensions. Answer is A. Coming to the next one, the government must consciously, with the opposition in parliament, to ensure laws have wider social acceptance. This is rather easy. How can we say hard surprising? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Hardly surprising means not at all surprising. Sanjay Yadav. This is an easy one. The government must consciously do what? Contend has two meanings. One meaning argue, another meaning face difficulties. We cannot use all these. What is the only way in a democratic setup? Dialogue, discussion, debate, deliberations, and negotiations. Question number 20, question number 5. Vindication, where is it used correctly? Vindication means vindicate, to prove something to be right. First, you have to know the meaning. The court's order was seen as a vindication of both critics and supporters of the act. Lawyer gave a vindication speech, vindication prices, vindication dress. All these are wrong combinations. So, what is the answer here? A is the answer. The court's order was seen as a vindication, as a proof of both critics, supporting critics and supporters of the act. Good. Question number 6. Choose a sentence where the word arbitrary used wrongly. Arbitrary means based on whims and fancies, based on emotions, not based on reasoning, not based on rationality. Critics see the amendment as an arbitrary interference in community affairs. Seems right. The teacher's arbitrary punishment caused unrest among students. Seems right. The committee made an arbitrary yet justified. These two are contradictory words. Then answer is C. The rules appeared arbitrary. This is also right. So you have to choose the wrong one. Which one is wrong among the 4 sentences? Third one, C is wrong. Answer is C. Nothing wrong with other sentences. Arbitrary, negative. Justified, positive. They don't go hand in hand. Here we have phrase replacement. Replace the underlined part. The state has a responsibility to ensure people are not taking for a ride by anyone. People are not taking or taken. If you understand the sentence pattern, here it is in passive voice. Any sentence in passive voice takes the main verb in past participle form. Based on that, you cannot consider these two. Is it taken for a ride or taken rides? Taken rides does not go with the context. So what is the answer here? People are taken. They take people for a ride, active voice. People are taken for a ride by them, passive voice, present tense. Answer is first one. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much.